All right, Marvel, you got me. I was fully prepared to ignore this movie, to sit this one out entirely. The Fantastic Four has had, let's just be honest, a really rough track record on screen. The previous films didn't work for me at all. They were generic, uninspired, and they never really captured what made the Fantastic Four special for me. And because of that, I kind of moved on. But then this trailer dropped, and suddenly I felt something I haven't felt from Marvel in a really long time: longing, wonder, hope, and even an untapped sense of potential. And maybe this just might be the start of another MCU reboot that could work. It feels like Marvel is taking a chance and rolling the dice, shaking things up to produce something that is entirely different than the rest of their catalog. So, what is it about this trailer that completely flipped my expectations for the film? Let's break it down, but first, we must feed the YouTube machine. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and thank you guys so much. So, why does this trailer for the Fantastic Four work so well? Well, audience fatigue is real, and rekindling interest is a tough thing to do after so many flops. The last few years really have been a mixed bag of formulaic, safe, overstuffed, overdone films that haven't really been all that marvelous. The only movie that has really had audiences excited recently is Deadpool and Wolverine, and that is because it broke the mold. And the Fantastic Four trailer, it kind of breaks the mold too. Instead of another sleek, high-tech, nanobot-infused, overly corporatized sci-fi film, Marvel went retro. They're clearly looking backward at what made Marvel great, and they're learning from what has happened previously, and they're leaning into the 1950s and 1960s futurism vibe. They're blending the aesthetics of Disney's original Tomorrowland, Jack Kirby's comics, and the classic nostalgia of space age optimism into a family-centric trailer that feels different than everything else that's out there. And that makes it feel relevant. So other than being a nod to the past, it's really the visuals that set this trailer apart. Clearly, this movie isn't going for hyper-realized sci-fi. It's going for the future as imagined in the past. That's a completely different approach that doesn't play it safe. Instead, it takes a chance on art and history by tapping into our collective nostalgia, but not just for the Marvel franchise. It taps into the speculative past for science fiction itself, when almost everything and anything felt possible. And that's something new. The architectural design of the Fantastic Four film also seems to be gleefully embracing mid-century modern and the Gucci influences, evoking the 1950s vision of the future that feels so very MIT to me. And yes, remember, I work at MIT. I've worked at MIT for a really long time. And this trailer just feels visually different and visually right as it embraces early space age design. From the sweeping curved lines to the floating platforms, some control panels, and the rounded glass structures of the team's headquarters. These sets could have been pulled straight from Tomorrowland, Disneyland circa 1955. The soft, glowing color palette enhances the retro-futuristic aesthetic. The Fantastic Car looks like the Jetsons meets General Motors concept car, and it has this sleek, exaggerated design with tail fins and bubble curves. The spacesuits, they really channel NASA's Gemini era while also infusing them with the Jack Kirby signature sci-fi stylization. But it's that weird kitchen scene that I think in some ways feels a bit out of place. Like, why is there a kitchen scene in a trailer? But here's why. It's that weird kitchen scene with the thing that just screams Monsanto House of the Future. From its orange counters and modular shelving to the classic gold-rimmed clock on the wall. What makes this aesthetic work is that it doesn't just borrow from the past, it recreates a future once imagined. Tomorrowland was originally designed in coordination with MIT architects and engineers, blending futuristic looks with practical, cutting-edge materials that were structurally sound. The mid-century optimism is alive with push-button conveniences, modular storage, and these interiors that feel like a precursor to today's smart homes. But even better, the massive and practical yet beautiful Kirby tech machines with their glowing buttons and dials. They all bring out the hopeful elements of sci-fi. Marvel is clearly reframing the genre through an artistic lens that we haven't seen in a really, really long time. And I, for one, love it. The trailer works because it resonates with the wild wonder and invention and just that time of excitement and scientific discovery. And that is so very, very cool. But we have been burned by trailers before. So here's the big question. Can the movie actually deliver on the promise within this trailer? Because if they do it right, it could revitalize the MCU. If they mess it up, it might be the final nail in the coffin. We'll have to see. The trailer does remind me of Brad Bird's 2015 film Tomorrowland, which was pretty cool, but it fumbled in its execution, and Marvel cannot afford to do the same. To avoid that mistake, the film, it's going to have to do a few other things. The characters must feel like a family. It needs to be a family-first film. The film can't just be nostalgia bait. You can't just put the images on the screen and then not deliver the story. And they need to be smart about how they pull Doctor Doom and Galactus into the story. They've also got to do that right so that the villain doesn't overshadow the heroes while also avoiding the throwaway bad guy plot trap. So here's where I land with the Fantastic Four trailer. I wasn't going to watch it. I wasn't going to watch this film. I was just kind of bored by the whole idea. But now it's on my list of most anticipated films of 2025. It feels like a synthesis of story and artistic design, plus a return to something that has been missing in recent superhero films, not to mention in cinema itself. And that is where something getting excited about. So clearly, Marvel's rolling the dice here, and now it's a game of wait and see over the next few months as anticipation increases for this film, while we all wait with bated breath to see which actor is going to say or do something stupid to ruin it all. Can Marvel and Disney avoid the recent string of gaffes and media blunders that have been coming up for their other films? Or will the Fantastic Four successfully avoid falling into the equivalent of the negative zone? We will have to see. So, what do you guys think about the Fantastic Four trailer? Are you excited? Does this retro-futuristic style work for you? Let me know in the comments. I am dying to talk about this movie. And as always, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into stories that shape our cinematic world. In the meantime, hey, why not check out one of these reviews? Thank you guys so much. I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.